Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chili from O-Town. Did I get live yet? Okay, yeah, I am live. Hey, guys, what's going on? It's Chili from O-Town. I was going to get ready to do a little bit of shooting with y'all guys today, and first I want to clarify a couple of things that come up in the chat group the other night, and it's about primary, secondary, on-axis hits, double pitch, single pitch, and some of that type of stuff. But I'll talk about that at the first of the video for 5 or 10 minutes at the most, probably, and then I'll do a little practice. So let's get started. I want to show you guys another little device, not a device, but just something that I've added. So see this here? It's not really adding. It's a very simple little device that I have picked up and put together. It's got three half-inch tees, 2 half-inch elbows, and this little thing from the Dollar Tree for $1. So I probably got less than, I don't know, $4 or $5 in this. But this makes a very good stand for. This makes a very good stand to put your phone in. Connect your phone to that. And this is real adjustable. So I didn't glue anything in, but this makes a very handy little device to make a little phone stand. And this is adjustable. Like I said, this will actually, this swivels, so you can turn your phone either landscape or this swivels. All right, on top of that swiveling, this part right here, I didn't glue anything down, so this will adjust down, so if so this will all spin and turn. So this little elbow here, this little T here will allow for your phone basically to rotate this way. Now, anybody that messes with PVC knows that if you glue them, you're not going to spin them. But if you don't glue them, they'll hold together real tight like this is. So it's plenty enough to hold the phone. So basically, a nice little stand. So, like I said, $3 or $4. Boom, you got a nice little stand. But let's go on over into. Give me just a second. Let me make sure that my chat is actually. So maybe it's going. Okay. So let me do. Hey, what's up, Thunder? So maybe my chat is not coming through. So I see it. Let me get another comment to make sure, because I just so did it not? It didn't come through either, did it? Okay. So now I've got something. Let's go back here. Let's go back over to the chat box. Let's go to these properties and let us get refresh that. And then let's see if we're getting anything now. I don't know. We might or might not be testing. Okay, now we got it. So now we're refreshed. We're testing. We've got it going out. So what's up, Thunder? How you doing out there? So again, just a basic little quick $2 or $3 device. I use a lot of PVC, so I had all these little elbows and 90s and little pieces of pipe laying around. So and then like I said, this little thing is $1 at Dollar Tree, so that's and it fit perfectly in a half-inch. Now I am going to glue this one to the PVC because it don't come out. It don't stay. It's not hard to get out, and the phone stays in pretty good. But I wanted to go over real briefly the idea of what we were kind of talking about Tuesday night, on axis, off axis, single pitch, double pitch, primary, secondary, those type terms. Because I think some people maybe are still somewhat not understanding exactly what all that means. So we're going to just take two different dice. That makes it easier to explain. And I'm going to use the dice pointed back towards the camera so that you can see my dice from a left and from a right. So that's the first thing that we need to differentiate when we go to talking about dice. We need to always talk about them as individual dice, a left, a right, and then a set. So if we set them to, this is how we call, well, let's talk about results first. So whatever the dice land on, the top numbers are your results. So whichever one you start out with as a left, you always call that result first, and then the right. So this result will be a 1, 5, 6. Left is 1, 5 is right, total is 6. 1, 5, 6. All right, so that's how you call them. So, and it's the same principle as you're setting them. But we're going to look at just a hard way set, because on a hard way set, every facing is going to be identical when you use a hard way set. So the left is on this is how you name them, a 3, the top, and then the front facing. The top, front facing. So you call the left dice 3, 2. The right dice, top, front facing, 3, 2. So we got the top of the dice, we got the front facing, which are on 2s, we got the very bottom of the dice, which is on 4s, and then we have the back of the dice. So if we just rotate them around, those are 5s. So now that we know what the facings are, we got the top, the front facing, the bottom facing, the back facing, and then we have also the sides of the dice. You have the left side of the dice and the right side of the dice. Left side of the right, right side of right. So you have left dice left, left dice right, right dice left, right dice right. I think this is making sense. All right, so now that we know the sides, the orientation, you got the top, the front, the bottom, the back, the left side, and the right side. 6 sides to a cube. Okay, so when we say dice setting, that means what position are we going to put the dice on as we grip them, whatever set we want. So I'm just going to use the basic set that's on the dice right now, which is a 3, 2, 3, 2. So what I have to do is get dice familiarity with what's on the top, that's the 3, what's on the front face, and that's the 2. I have to know what's opposite of 3, because what's on top, the opposite of the 3 is going to be the bottom, which is going to be 4s, and then the opposite of front is the 5s. So when we say on axis, when we're talking about on axis, we have to look at each individual dice. Each individual die. So if this die remains on axis, we're either going to have a result of a 3, a 2, a 4, or a 5. That means you got one of the 4 primary sides, which is the top, the front, the bottom, or the back. You don't get the dice to land on one of its sides. If it lands on one of its sides, it's off axis. So again, on axis means you get one of the 4 primary faces, which is the front, which is to start with the top, the front, the bottom, or the back. That's the primary faces. If you get a left side result, which is that, or a right side result, which is that, that's a dice that has imploded or exploded. That's an off-axis dice. So if you get both dice, and this is why I said we're going to start with a hard way, because they're easier to determine that they stay on axis. So for the left die to stay on axis, it has to hit on one of those. It has to result in one of those 4 numbers. Just like think of this as running this screwdriver right directly through the side of this dice and coming out the other side of this dice. That's just like an axis that you consider that's on a wheel, that's on a car. And if this screwdriver was to turn like tires do on a vehicle, what happens with these dice? The dice could never get to the side. They would always result in one of them facings, the top, the front, the bottom, or the rear. They would always result like this because they would always be rotating in this manner. That's why, now I messed that up. That's why you would consider them on axis, because they never let a side be a result. Just like a tire, just like a screwdriver. If it rolled forward and forward and forward, and these rolled forward and forward and forward and forward and forward, it doesn't matter how many rows they go. We're going to go into rotations in a few minutes, but right now we're still talking about what the on axis is. Okay, so now that we've kind of briefly touched that the dice never need a result, well, I'm not going to put it in the form that they never need a result of an on the side. What I'm meaning by that is, for them to be considered on axis, they never need to show the result from one of the sides of the dice. And if you notice, on this dice set, the left side is a 1, the right side is a 6. So, if we use a 3-2-3-2, we should never see a 1 or 6 on either dice to have on axis. Now, when you start getting into a 3V to where you no longer are looking like a hard way, you see how that 90-degree counterclockwise turn changed what's on the right and left side of this dice. Now on the left side of this dice is a 5, and on the right side is a 2. So that's why we're just going to go with the basics and look at a on axis hard way set. Okay, so on a 3-2-3-2, we should never see results of a 1 or 6, and that's for either dice, a 1 or 6. Now, we basically know kind of now what on axis is. And as I just stated, once you start getting into more, let me think of the right word I'm trying to use, more complicated dice sets like a 3V and a 2V, and just off numbers like, say, cross sixes, which is a 6-4, 6-5. Once you start getting into those, you will have a different combination for the sides of the dice. See, this side's a 4, but this side's a 2. So you have to just look at your dice, and you have to get familiar with what is showing. So we're going to go back to our 3-2, 3-2, and look at those. So now that we know what basic meaning of on axis is, and like I said, dice familiarity is just the practice of playing with them, rotating them, looking at them, learning them, getting familiar with what is the opposite of 3. It's a 4. What is the opposite of 2? It's the 5. What is the opposite of 6? It's the 1. So you have to learn, and it gets second nature the more you do this. All right. So now that we know kind of what we're expecting out of these dice to stay on axis, we should never see a 1 or 6 with this dice set. So now let's look at the idea of single pitch. So, if we're using a hard way set, the hard way result, if we stay on axis, we're always going to see one of the front, top, bottom, or back results. But if they line up as in rotation wise now, so as I talked about how the screwdriver would go through them, and if they rolled on axis together, they would stay in the same rotation, like this. You'd either have the results of both 2s, or you'd have the results of both 4s, or you'd have the results of both 5s, or you'd have the results of both 3s. That would be what you consider a primary on axis hit, because the results, both dice stayed on axis, and they stayed in the same rotation. They both turned exactly twice, exactly 3 turns, exactly 4 turns, exactly 5 or 6, and so forth. if they rotated the exact same amount of times, that's a primary hit. That's what's referred to as a primary on-axis hit. Well, a primary hit, you don't have to say primary on-axis, because if it's primary hit, it is automatically means it's on-axis. Alright, so that's what a primary hit means. When both dice stay on axis and they rotate the exact number of times, the final results display that. Okay, so now let's look at what a single pitch is. Single pitch is when they both stay on axis, but one dice rotates one turn more or one turn less than the other dice. One turn more on this particular 3-2-3-2, you could have a result of 2-3, or one turn less, you could have a result of 5-3. Alright, or that's one example of an on-axis single pitch. Or if they rotated together this many turns, and then this one rotated one more spot, that's an on-axis single pitch. Or, as I said, it could go backwards one less turn, you'd have a 3-2. So this is how you determine an on-axis primary, an on-axis secondary. An on-axis secondary hit is when it's not the same amount of rotations. When it's not, when one dice spins either once or twice ahead of the other one. So we talked about primary, and now we're talking about single pitches when one dice rotates one spot ahead of the other one. And you got to keep in mind, any of these results right here could be a primary hit. So if both of them stop, say both of them go to the 5 and then this one spins one more time, that's still an on-axis single pitch. Let's look at one more scenario, and it's the double pitch. Now the double pitch falls in line the same scenario as the single pitch. Both the dice are on axis, but instead of it rolling one time forward than the first one, than the other one, it rolls 2 steps forward. See how that happened? So 2 extra rotations. Most dice sets, a double pitch is going to yield 7. Any hard weight? Well, so this one could roll forward once, and this one could have one less rotation, and you could get a 2-5-7. That's a double pitch. So on a hard weight dice set, you've got 4 ways to double pitch and get a 7. Alright, so double pitch. So if both dice rolled one complete turn to the 2s, and then this one rolled 2 more steps forward in that manner, that's a double pitch. I hope this is making sense. I did another video, I just don't know where it's at. But this is the basic idea of single pitch, double pitch, secondary hit, primary hit, and on axis. There's 2 more that we'll talk about, and it's implosion, explosion. It's a little bit more detailed because you start having to get off axis. So when you start talking about implosions and explosions, you still have to consider the left dice. And if you get a number that results from it rolling inward like this on the left dice, that's on either dice. So if either dice rolls toward the other one spin like that or that, that's an implosion. If they roll away from each other on the results like that and that, that's an explosion. So we have to consider the set we're using to determine what is an explosion, what is an implosion, what is a single pitch, what is a double pitch, what is secondary hit, what is primary hit. It depends on the set we're using. Now, any hard weight set, you're going to have 4 ways to double pitch and hit. You're going to have 4 ways out of the 6 that you can double pitch. I'm going to show you one more example of double pitch on the hard weight set. One dice could roll forward this way, and the other one could roll 3 times that way. That's a double pitch. Or these both dice can roll forward on 2 shots. That's 1 and 2 rotations. And this one could roll forward 2 more. That's a double pitch. I hope that I have briefly demonstrated what double pitch and single pitch is all about. And if not, I will go into more detail of it. I hope that this has kindly brought an idea of what on axis is. Because if I pick them up on 4-5, 4-5, and they both land on 3-3, that is still a primary hit because that is an exact result, both dice. So some people might get confused that if I'm setting them on 4-5, 4-5, I'm looking for to hit a hard 8 because that's the top. That's not necessarily the case. You know, as long as I get any of these results, as long as I get the 4-4, the 5-5, the 3-3, the 2-2, that is a primary result. Now, also you got to keep in mind that a double pitch, that is still an on-axis hit. So if somebody says double pitch, they were on axis. They just one dice rolled 2 more rotations further than the other. Now, as we start getting into more complicated dice sets like the 3V, I'll set them on 3-2, 3-6. I'm going to show you what happens with a double pitch. Double pitch, you're going to yield a 7. Double pitch, you're going to yield a 7. But the difference is when you got, so if you get a primary hit, you're going to either get the hard 6 or the bottom, which is hard 8. You're going to get that 2-6-8, or you're going to get this other side of it, which is the back side, which is 5-1-6. All right, but here's the thing. A double pitch could mean this one rolled that many times forward, but that less times backwards. So the 2-1 on this dice set is a double pitch. And if you'll start looking at your dice and realizing that a double pitch, what you have to realize, if you use a hardway set, there is going to be a double pitch. A double pitch any which way around the dice on the hardway set is always going to result in a 7. So basically all I'm trying to display on the 3V is there's only one result in a double pitch from this set. It's the 4-3 or the 3-4. You don't have it like you do on the 3-2 where you can either get a 3-4 double pitch or you can have a 5-2 double pitch. So see, in the hardway set there's actually more probability of getting a 7. Now, there is even more complicated styles of dice sets that don't incorporate a hard V, a 2V, a 3V, a cross 6 or anything. It's just numbers that people find comfortable, like say a 3-1, 5-1. Say I wanted to use something in that scenario. That's not a hardway set. Even though I got 5s there, and I've got 6s on the back. That's just a set I just looked at and made up. This kind of information is what it takes to practice and track so you can figure out what dice sets produce what results. Because if the 3V, now the 3V is a dice set that is designed to produce a lot of inside numbers if you're hitting on axis. But if I want to hit, I'm going to use a cross 6 set. But that don't mean that if I use the cross 6 set and it hits horn numbers a lot, that the next person can use that die set and it hit horn numbers a lot. It might be something in your throw, it might be something in your grip, it might be something in your swing. These are basic guidelines. These are not guaranteed to do what they're not guaranteed to behave the way you want. And so, this is where the practice comes in. So if you're practicing, these are basic guidelines and basic terminology to help to become more familiar with the movements and the behaviors of the dice. Once you get familiar with the dice and you are throwing a high percentage on axis, or you're consistent with on axis, This terminology helps you understand how the dice are misbehaving. What kind of uh, tactics, maybe the word I'm using, what kind of tweaks you need to do with maybe your pickup, maybe your grip, maybe your swing. These are things to help determine how to make those adjustments on the fly and get the results you're looking for. Because let's say you know what implosion is, and you're getting the left implosion every time. Every time you roll, you're getting the left dice to implode. That means you need to make some kind of adjustment on your left finger right here, your pointer finger. If you're using a 3V grip now, a 3-finger grip, them kind of adjustments come with practice. You know, that's what this is. So I'm hoping I've led somebody to close to the right path of what on axis, secondary, primary, single, double, implosion, and explosion actually means. I hope I have kind of clarified that to a degree. Now, there's probably going to be questions asked, and I don't mind trying to answer them, but I hope that what I have talked about here is making some sense. But yeah, let's go into a little bit of shooting, and maybe we'll continue this a little bit discussion on through the shooting. So let me get. I've got $1,000 bankroll here. I've got. I'm going. Let me see. Do I got 1,000? Yeah, I got $1,000 bankroll. I'm going to do a $25 ATS along with a $10 pass line. And let's just start out that way, because really before we want to go to do a lot of betting, we want to see how our dice are behaving and see if we're getting some on-axis hits. If we're getting good on-axis hits, we can do a little different betting strategy. Or if we're just, basically not getting good on-axis hits, then we'll stay with maybe place bets or, lay bets or something to that effect. But so only thing I'm going to work is the pass line on the come out, and of course I got the ATS lined up. So here we go. So I'm setting a 3-2-3-6. I'm using a 3V. So right from the start, if I'm using this 3-2-3-6 for this left dice to stay on axis, I need to see a result of a 3, a 2, a 4, or a 5. If that left dice don't produce one of them results, then that left dice didn't stay on axis. If I'm using the 3-6 on the right dice, I need to see a 3, a 6, a 4, or a 1 for that right dice. If I don't get one of them results off of that right dice, then that one did not stay on axis. So we'll just go into it, and maybe we can shoot and give a little bit of detail on each shot. So here we go. Dice are out. Hadn't shot in a couple days. All right here we got a 6-5 yoke. So now let's take this back down to the camera and show what happened here. So on this particular dice set, I hit a yoke. That's a come out yo. That's a come out winner. So I'll go ahead and pay the front line, and I mark the yo in the tracker. So the deck should populate the screen here shortly. I don't know why did that not populate. Is it on the wrong one? Unfortunately, we lost the connection there with Walker Bueller in that conversation. We'd love to hear his reaction and his answer to, of course, a topic that's 48 hours, the reaction after, we saw the celebration with the World Series champs right at Walker Bueller. All right, I don't know what's happening right here. All right, give me just a minute. I don't know what's happened. My system did cut off. Let me look at something. I thought this was going to be, why is my sheets not updating? Why is my sheets not updating? Huh. I had this problem come up the other day. Where is my October sheet? This was my issue the other day. Where is my October sheet? Half of September, half of August. Where is my October sheet? This did me this way in LFC the other day. So why? Where is my? Give me just. I'm sorry about the hold up. That's not the right one. October KPIs. Maybe this is the one. Okay, this should be the one. Let me delete those values. I don't know if that's the one or not. That might be. That might have been. That might have been. Let me do this. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I got it now. Okay, maybe I did have it from the start and I just didn't refresh it. Okay, sorry about the hold up, guys. Alright, so I paid the 11, I hit the 11. We were going to talk about what happened with this dice set because we were on that. So let's go back. Let's take a new set of dice. We started with a 3, 2, 3, 6. Let's see what the results was. So in order for this dice right here, the blue, the left dice to get a 6, look what it did. It landed on the side. In order for the right dice to get a 5, it had to land on this side. 6, 5, so that's a drift. The left dice exploded, the right dice imploded. Drift. Okay. So maybe I can keep going now since I found my KPIs and I don't know what was the holdup. So here we go. 3, 2, 3, 6. Both dice was off axis. So we have to try to figure out why are both dice off axis. So both dice rotated to their sides to the left. So that's an error that we have to try to tweak and figure out the problem. All right, and this time we have a 2, 5, 7. So this is a come out 7. So if you notice, let's mark a 7. That's a come out 7. So again, that pays $10 on the front line. We lose a quarter on AT. Well, we have to re-up our quarter. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then let me do something right here. Might clear up that. Okay, it cleared it up just a little. Okay, so let's look real quick. So if you remember the last results, it was a 6, 5. Yo, this one is a 2, 5, 7. So we know if the 3, 6, that dice is still imploding, still turning toward the inside. So this result is still imploding, the right dice. But the left dice, look what it did. It started on 3, 2, and the result is on axis. So our left dice stayed on axis, our right dice imploded. 2, 5, I'm going to come out 2, 5, 7. All right, here we go. So we re-upped we got paid on our pass line, we re-upped our ATS. And these are the kind of things that we have to understand what's happening so that we can try to make the adjustments to keep it from continuing to happen. Because what we really want is an on-axis throw every time. 167 this time. So this time the right dice stayed on axis, but the left dice jumped off axis. So in order to start with a 3-2, and in order for it to result to end in an ace, that dice had to spin on its side. That imploded. The left dice turned toward the center, or turned toward the other dice, so it imploded. The right dice stayed on axis. It went from a 3-6 to just it went from a 3-6 set, and the 6 is the facing. The result is the 6. So this right dice is on axis. We got a 1-6, another come out 7. All right, so I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of more details and slowing down the game this much. That's a front line winner, $10, but ATS loses again, so we re-up the ATS. All right, so we really have to start trying to figure out exactly what's happening, but that's what takes these first few rows. And as VDC uses like an 18 count before he ever even puts his first bet in. And this is a lot of what, not really in VD's circumstances of why he's using the 18 count. He's using it more for the trending. I'm using the first 4, 5, 6, 7 rows to see if I can get on axis. And that's going to kind of determine how I bet. You know, if I'm hitting on axis on majority of the throws, I'm going to bet in a different style than if I'm hitting a lot of off-axis throws. All right, this time 4-3-7. So this time we got both dice on axis, but they're on a double pitch. So that's it don't look like we're going to get away from it. Okay, so what is going on with my tracker again? I'm not getting those results. Why is this not going in? 7, 7, 7. Why is those not going into the tracker? What is happening here? I don't know what's happening here. Let me see if this helps. Now this might work. We might have it now. Okay. Let me go over to this because I don't know if this one's going to be updated either. Let's refresh this one. I don't know what's happening here. But let me see if I can refresh them. I don't know what's happening. That looks about like it now. Let's see if this can be refreshed. I don't know why I'm having to refresh everything though. Okay, so I finally got everything refreshed. I've hit a come out 7 3 times in a row. Alright, so basically this is still a double pitch. This is an on axis. It's just the only thing, we started with a 3-2, 3-6, and the result was either a 3-4 or a 4-3. So one dice rolled forward 2 times. So both dice stayed on axis. One way or the other. I think it was a 3-4. Alright, so I get $10 on the front line again. have to re-up. I have to re-up the $25 ATS again, and we're ready. So we've got a come out yo and then 3 come out 7s in a row. So we're still on the come out. We have not got past the come out roll yet. But that time we were able to finally find our on axis hit. So now we just want to try to rinse and repeat that same throw without the double pitch. 2, 5, 7. So we still getting 7s on the come out. I've never seen this many 7s on the come out. I swear this is the most 7s I've ever had on the come out. There's a $10 frontline winner. $25 ATS re-up. You know, we at any point in time can ask the dealer for a new set of dice. And if we can't quit hitting come out 7s, that might be the move that we have to make. Alright, we got a 6-5 yo. So this is back where we were at the beginning. We got 6-5. That's a drift. Left dice exploded, right dice imploded. So that's a drift. That's a come out 7. I mean, that's a come out winner. But we don't have to re-up our ATS this time. And we finally get our first number remarked on our tall. 3236. Here we go. Two, 3, 5. So now let's look at what 2, 3, 5 does. 2, 3, 5 is an on-axis single pitch. We've got our first point number. So let's take a look and see how we ended with 2, 3, 5. Let's take these 2 dice, the 3, 2, 3, 6, and let's see what happened to get a 2, 3, 5. So if the left dice resulted in a 2, that's an on-axis roll. The 3 stayed on the 3, so both dice are on axis, just a single pitch, because the left dice rolled 1 roll ahead of the right dice. 2, 3, 5 is the results. So 5 is our point. We want to, you know, with as many come out 7s we had, we kind of hit a little dent in our profit or in our bankroll with all them come out 7s. So, you know, you might not want to go to betting right away, but I'm going to do a 220 inside, and I'm going to look for a 1 hit. With my money at risk, I'm looking for 1 hit. Here we go. 3, 2, 3, 6 on the set. Dice right. 2, 3, 5. So right back on it. So we hit what we needed to. We hit the 2, 3, 5, which is on axis, single pitch. So we hit our number. We hit our point. So now something still ain't doing right. Let me get this one right here refreshed. My goodness, what is going on? Now, why is that not refreshing? Why did this not refresh? Let me go. Give me just a minute. I don't know what's happened to my sheet, but let me do it this way. Something happened to it. Okay. Now we've got that part working. And I don't know what happened, but I did have to put in all my new stats, or I had to refresh all my current. I don't know what happened. My KPI disappeared, and when I just now started this one, I had to refresh all the, I don't know why. But anyway, we should be up to go now. We hit our 5, our point's been made, we hit our 5. That's an on-axis single pitch. All right, so we get paid right here. We get paid three greens in the back, 2 reds on the front. All right, we don't wanna press our bets right now. We need to kind of make up a little bit on those ATSs. So what I want to do, so let's go back to what we just did. We collected 10 on the front line and 3 on the back for these 2. We had 50 bet right there. Since we hit our point, we collected $85. All right, so we started with 220. We're going to take our 220 down. Taking our 220 completely down, we got $85 right here of profit. That was one hit. We had our 220 at risk on one hit. So we're going to take our, I think, let me make sure I still got, I've done had to do so much refreshing. Let me make sure that I still got my chat going. Okay, so the chat's still going. Good deal. All right. So one hit with 220 at risk. We made one hit. It was a frontline winner. So we got an $85 profit. So what we're going to do with this 85, we want to spread across. We're going to go all across. There's 20. I'm just going to get a green. Well, I don't have to get a green. I can do a cross like this. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There's 50 of the profit. So I still got $35 left in the profits on this particular roller. Still got a quarter, but I gotta get some whites. So I'm gonna get 4, 6, 8 white, 10 whites and 3 reds for the green. All right, so there's my profit. All this is profit money, so I gotta get. So I still got a little bit more money right here. I still got $21 still in profit. So you know I can bump 1 or 2 of them up. There's 20. So I still got 21. So what I probably would do is go ahead and get the 4 and the 10 for 20 each. And I got a $1 profit and I got a board loaded all the way across. Now I'm coming out. I'm not putting any bets on the front line because I had a lot of I'm not turning any place bets on the come out because I had a lot of come out sevens. So I just want to stay with just trying to establish a point, not working the come out. Aces, we got 1-1 aces. Now that was just a terrible swing. When I went backwards on my pendulum and I come forward, I kept my hand too low and I let everything scrape the table and it messed up my throw. I hit aces. Aces is not sometimes the terriblest thing. It is when you're not looking for them. So let me do something right here also because I've got I don't know why my YouTube channel on my end, it looks like it's real blurry, so I don't know if it's coming in good or not, but maybe that cleared it up some. Okay, so I hit aces, so that's the front line. I have to re-up $10 on the front line, so that's back up. We're still on the come out, so I'm not working the place bet. So here we go, 3, 2, 3, 6. That's right. 5-6 yoke. Now this 5-6 yoke is a whole different ball game than the 6-5 yoke. The 6-5 yoke was an off axis. The 5-6 yoke is an on axis. Let me show you how this works. Let me put the 11 in the tracker. Let me pay my front line, and then we're gonna go to this 5-6 yoke. So remember, we started with a 3-2, 3-6. Earlier, we hit a 6-5 yoke. Both dice turned on their side. That's off axis. This time, we hit a 5-6 yoke. Look where the 5 is. It's on the back side of the dice. So if it's on the back side of the dice, that is an on-axis throw. Look where the 6 is. It's on the front side of the dice. So these dice are on axis, 5, 6 yo. The thing is, if you start them like this and you rotate this one 3 turns, you get a 5, and you rotate this in 1 turn, you get a 6. So that's a double pitch. 3 turns and 1 turn. Both of them turn once. Let's look at how both of them turn once. Both of them turn once, and then this one carried on 2 more rotations. 5, 6 yo. Double pitch. 5, 6 yo. So that is an on-axis double pitch. So it's a difference in the numbers that are produced. They can be the same results, but one time they can be on axis and one time they can be drift. All right, here we go. We're still looking for a point on the come out. We're not working. 3, 6, 9. So dice familiarity. If you know what you're expecting, you already know that this is an on-axis single pitch. In order for the 3, you know you're going to get a 3 if you start with a 3 on the top. That's an on-axis. And this one started out with a 3, 6 as a facing. So if it's got a facing, a front facing as a result, 3, 6, 9 is an on-axis single pitch. One dice rolled one spot further than the other. All right, so here we go. I've got my bets up. I'm going to put the bet in the odds. It just pays just a little bit better. I'm going to assume I'm at a 10-time table, so I could go up to 10-time. My pass line's always going to be $10, so I can go up to $100 in the odds back here. If I go over 100, I'm going to have to use the place bets. So we're looking for a 9. Dice are out. 2, 5, 7. Right dice, empty dice imploded, created a 7. So there's our first 7 out after 12 throws. So 12 throws, we got our first 7 out. I'm dropping frames like out the caboodles. So my stream is probably very messed up. I don't know why that's the case, other than, you know, I might need to go reset the router. The router earlier was not plugged in correctly, and it was giving a bunch of in-the-house problems, and now I've dropped over 11,000 frames in 53 minutes, which is very, very high. My streams seem very, very unstable, and my YouTube picture looks like my video looks like it's probably cutting in and cutting out. But I'm going to you know, I just tried something different. I don't know if that's going to help or if it's not going to help. But that's 7 out. So let me pick up the bets. So basically that shooter probably lost money. It definitely lost money with all the come out 7s for the ATS and then the come out aces. The come out aces caused that shooter to lose more money. So our SOR right now is 12, which is not terrible, but our money, our profit wise, we're down a little, but it was because of all the come out 7s that we had lost 25. So let's do this. Hey, you want on video? Why not? Come get on video. That's the thing I was talking about. I made. Anyway, about 15 more minutes. Okay, just set it in here. In here. You're not going to be on camera in here. Camera's way over there. Alright, so here we go. $25 ATS re-upped, $10 pass line re-upped, and we're going to get rid of those dice that produce us lots of come out 7s, 4 on the very first come out. So this time we're going to go with let's say red and black. I'm going to use red as my left dice. 3, 2, 3, 6, over 6. We have no money working on place bets from the come out. We're just establishing a point. Dice are out. All right, we got a 167. So we got 1-6. The left dice was red this time. So in order for a 1 to come up on the 3-2 dice set, I know the left dice had to implode. The right dice stayed on axis, but we hit another come out 7. This is a come out 7 again. So we've had a terrible time with these come out 7s today. So it's a front line winner for $10, but we have to re-up our quarter for ATS. And here we go. Left dice imploded that time, so let's see if we can make a correction to keep that left dice on axis. Nice route. Left dice imploded again. Right dice stayed on axis. Aces. 1-1 aces. So we hit a 2. We hit aces. That's a front line loser. We have to put our $10 up. Re-up our $10. So again, we must have something going funny. Because it doesn't look like it recorded. Oh, I know what it was. I didn't put the come out 7 in there. Now I got it. Alright, so I knew I didn't have enough 7s. I didn't put my last 7 in. I didn't put my come out 7 in for some reason. Anyway, we got it now. So the stats should be looking better now. 3-2, 3-6. We have to figure out what is happening. Nice route. Left dice imploded again. We got a 1. 1-4-5. We have a new point. We have a point this time though. It's a 1-4. 1-4-5. Left dice imploded. All right, so we're going to do the same method. We're going to do the 220. We're going to look for 1 hit. We're going to look for our money to be at risk for 1 hit. We're looking for 1 hit right here. 3-2, 3-6 on the dice set. Nice route. 2-2, hard way 4. Right dice exploded this time. 2-2, hard way 4. We have no money on the 4. So we have to leave our money at risk for a second shot. This is what we don't really like to do, leaving our money up at risk for 2 shots. So here we go, nice route. And this is why we don't like to leave them at risk, because this is a come out 7. See, we've had a lot of too many 7s in today's round. So a lot of too many 7s in today's round. Let me get that off of there. That shouldn't be there. Okay. So our SOR went down to 8.0 off that come out 7. We lost our 220 on the come out. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to re-up 220. There's 220. I'm going to get my ATS back up, and I'm going to get my $10 pass line back up. So I'm all up across everything, and I'm re-upped. So now, since we had a come out 7, what do? Let's go back. Let's go to these 2 dice and let's work the come out. That was not a come out 7. We had a come out. We had a come out 5. Then we had a hard 4, and then we hit a 7. So the reason that we lost money that time was because we had our money up at risk for the 1 shot, but we wasn't covering the outside numbers. So when we made our point, when we established our point, we wasn't working any bets. So the very next row, after we put our 220 up, we hit a hard 4. We didn't have any money working on the outside. The very next hit was 7 out, so we lost our 220. All right, our 220's up, our ATS 25 is up, and our front line is up, our pass line's up. We're going to work to come out. We're going to work to come out and try to recoup that 220. And this was one of the things that I said SRR could be used for. If you've got a low SRR like I do right now, that means I've hit a lot of come out sevens. So this might be working against what the results are showing. But I have I have a feeling that I was not going to hit another 7 that quick. So I hit a 6-4-10. So not working any money not working any outside money, I just lost an opportunity to make I just had my money up for an extra risk that time. But again, we're trying to recoup on this 220. Trying to recoup on the 220, so we're working. Oh Lord, this is so pitiful today. We got a 527. This is pitiful today. We knocked our 220 off again. So this is really. There's 2. This is our 220 is up. We got to put our ATS up and our front line back up. So we're back up on everything. So we're just having a tough shooting day. And as I started out this video talking about on axis, those are just the terms. Those are just telling you what to try to do. They're not going to make you be able to do it. So you can see that actually, even though I know the terms, that don't mean I know exactly what to do to cause these 7s to get off my board. But 7's been a killer today. So I'm going to work to come out again. Dice are right. Five, 1, 6. So this is an example of a primary hit. This is an example, and I'll show you one. 5, 1, 6 is the results. Let's start out with 3, 2, 3, 6. That's the set. So if they both roll together, 3 rows, our results are 5, 1, 6. And I was working to come out, so this 60 gets paid 70. And we're going to take 35 of it and go to the outside, and 35 of it and go to the outside, and we're going to work our 220 again because we've already knocked our 220 off 2 times in a row, so we kind of need to press them and try to take 3 or 4 hits, and hopefully we can go on, a little bit of a run and get back some of this chunk that we've just lost. 4-4, hard way 8. This is another primary hit. 4-4, hard 8. Well, I'll show you why that's a primary, but we got 60 on it. So it's going to pay 70. And we're looking for about 3 or 4 hits. So we might as well go ahead and start pressing these. So I'm just going to take and press it all the way up, whatever it is. We got 45 on the 4, 45 on the 10. We got 90 on the 5 and 9, and our 6 and 8 hadn't moved yet. So let me show you why this is a hard way hit. This is a on axis 4-4. So if we start out with 3, 2, 3, 6, and both dice roll together in rotation, they're going to end with 4-4. Primary hit. All right. So here we go. 3, 2, 3, 6. Dice are out. 6-5, yo. That's a drift. 6-5. That's a drift. Left dice exploded. Right dice imploded. 6-5 drift. All right. 3, 2, 3, 6. Our money's at risk. Our money's in it exposed, so here we go. Looking for 3 or 4 hits. We've had about 2 so far. Now here's a 6-6-12. That's an off-axis hit. We don't get so excited when our dice are going off-axis. Even though it is hitting some of our ATS numbers, we are not excited about throwing off-axis. The left dice exploded to create that 6. The right dice stayed on axis. So left dice exploded. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 3, 6. The point being, we're not so happy about the dice being off-axis is because we have our money exposed. We have it at risk. So if we can't throw on axis, we're not going to capitalize. We're not getting a good return on investment if you get paid 1 out of every 3 or 4 shots. You're putting your money at too much of an exposure. Dice are out. 3, 1, 4. So we have this is an on-axis single pitch, and we have $45 on this. So for $2, it's going to pay us 90. So that was pretty decent little payday. For $2, it pays 90. That was like our 3rd hit. That's like our 3rd hit with our money at risk. We're going to look for 1 more because we need to try to hit a 5 or a 9. And get a $100 collect. So let's go with it again. 3, 2, 3, 6. Dice are out. 4, 5, 9. So our right dice this time imploded, but we hit our 9. We've got 75 on it, so it pays 105. So we've got. So now let's look at the board. All we need is a 10 to complete a tall. We just got paid 105. So at this point in time, we can pull some of our money. We've had it at risk for a lot of shots. You know, and good as well as anybody knows, the 7's eventually coming. So it's no need in keeping on tempting yourself for not being able to capitalize on some of the profits. So now we can pull this money down. We can go with our 64 across. 64 across. You don't have to put the 12 here because you're going to put $10 in odds there. And you can lay the 10 at this point in time and guarantee profit because all you need is a 10. So you can lay the 10 for $200 to make a $100 profit, or you could lay it, say, for $200 is probably about what you need to do. Maybe $230. That way you'd make a profit of about 130. I mean 115 if you hit a 7, and if you hit the 10, you'll make about that same profit. So you can lay the 10 for about 230. I wouldn't go all the way to 250 because if you do hit the 7, you would only make a profit of about 100, not even 100 when you count the VIG. But if you lay it for about 230, you could make about $100, $120, $15 profit. But I'm not going to lay it in this instance because I'm not really at the casino. But if I was at the casino, I would definitely need to lay that 10. But let's shoot for the 3, 2, 3, 6. We're going to keep continuing to shoot. Hopefully we can stay on a little bit better, decent roll. And we can pull that SOR up a little further and actually hit that 10. And there's 2, 1, 3. So this is an on-axis double pitch. 2, 1, 3. So we'll see how it goes. But we might can even get enough numbers, get the 2 in here, and we might can get that 5. Because that's all we're needing for the small. So So we're just going to keep going and trying to hit the numbers. And if this keeps going for us, there's a 246. This is an on-axis single pitch 246. That's our point made. So it pays 12 in the back for the 10, and it pays 10 on the front line. So we've hit our point. We've hit our point. We've got our 64 across. We're into a profit for this shooter, and we're looking for a 10, a 5, and a 2 to be able to complete any of the parts of the smaller tower. So we're going to stay with the 3236. We're not going to work to come out. The SOR is an indicator. The SRR is an indicator that we should not work to come out. When you have a very low SRR, that states that you've hit a lot of come out 7s in the previous shots. So don't work to come out. Dice her out. 3-3, hard way 6. This is a primary hit. 3-3, hard 6. Alright, so we wasn't working it, but I am going to take and put, well, I had it right there too. So this, I never took that odds off. They wouldn't allow that at the casino. But instead of me having the 12 here and playing in the place bet, I'm putting it in odds. So 3-3, hard way 6. That's primary hit, 3-3. Now, if you notice at the very beginning, I was not getting a lot of on-axis hits. And that's what I was talking about in VDC. He plays the first 18 shots just getting a trendsetter, and I'm into 28 shots now, but I'm starting to get an idea, and I've made a couple of adjustments to my grip and my throw to start getting more of a consistent on-axis hits. They haven't got to the point that I feel comfortable on moving off to the hot betting yet, but they are getting a higher percentage. $5-1-6. This is an on-axis on-axis primary hit. We're right back to that. That's 2 primary hits in a row. So we made our point. It pays 12 in the back and 10 up front. So we made our 6. Our point's been made. We're going to get our 6 back up here. No need in pressing any bets right now. You know, we hit our point, and we're just going to collect and keep riding it out until we get our point established. So 3-2-3-6. Dice her out. 1-3-4. Left dice imploded. So we hit a 4. We was not working any come outs. But we're going to put the odds right there. We're going to put the money on the odds instead of on the place bet. We marked the 4. And here we go. We're still looking for that 10. We're looking for that 10. We're looking for that 5. We're looking for them aces. Dice her out. 6-3-9. Left dice exploded. 6-3-9. But we got $10 on it, so it pays 14. So we're going to drop the dealer $1, and we're going to tell him to full press it. So he's going to take $15, and he's going to press us all the way up to a quarter. So we'll press that 9 all the way up to a quarter. We mark the 9 in our tracker. Then we'll keep rolling, because we're trying to hit this 10. We really need to hit this 10. Dice her out. 4-2-6. Right dice exploded this time. 4-2-6. We hit the 6. We got 12 on it. It pays 14. So this time we give the dealer $1 for 3. $1 for 3. We're going to play a press and collect method. So this time we're going to collect our 14. Mark our 6. All right, here we go. 3-2-3-6 on the dice here.
that Joe was trying to get a hold of you for bringing simple.
Alright.
So
I'll
call
call
him.
him. I'm not calling him right now. I'm in the middle of something. I'll call him in a minute. Thank you. Alright, so here we go. Lights are out. Still looking for the 10. And boom, there it is. That, my friends, is an on-axis, single pitch, 4/16. We hit the 10. So, I'm getting an important phone call, guys. They're telling me it's a 911 emergency. I don't know what the emergency is. I just hit the 10. I just hit the 10. I made the 350. Oh, I've got $10 on it too, so it pays me another 18. So for $2, it pays another 20. I'm just going to give them $2 and press my 10 all the way up to 30. All right, I'm gonna take another couple of shots, but I might have to go real soon here, like within 5 minutes, because I'm getting a text message and a phone call that they're telling me to call ASAP. So I'm probably gonna have to go ahead and leave this. 4/4 hard weight primary 8. Primary 8. That's an on-axis single pitch. No. On-axis primary hit. I've got $12 on it, so what I will do, the 12 will pay 14, so that's 26. It pays 14, so altogether that's 26. So if I drop the dealer $4 more, he can press me all the way up to 30. So just let me do that right there. So I drop the dealer $4 and he presses that 8 all the way up to 30. Alright guys, I got to go. I hate that I have to go. I'm going to come back and continue this video because, and I'm just going to leave my table right there. But I'm going to do, this is going to be part 1 because I think I'm on like a real good roll right here. But I got to go right now, so I'll get back with you guys in a little bit. I appreciate you hanging out. This is going to be part 1. I'm going to put to be continued because I didn't finish the roll. I'm going to put, I got to edit the video because I got to change the name of it. So I'm just going to write to be continued. And I'm sorry I got to go, but I'm getting phone messages that says ASAP, call me. My daughter's going to come out here. They done call my wife and said for me to